we're live again.
Hey, we're back.
Maybe we're back. Who knows? Robbie will tell us. All right. We're going to try again.
Yeah, we're going to do this. So what you might want to do is screen share. So not only are you streaming it through Streamlabs, but also screen share League of Legends into Discord. So I can, but I may not have to if Spectator's not. If Spectator works, great. If not, I may have to. You may have to screen share League into Discord for me.
I got you. Or you could just, you could probably join. You could get log back into Restream, and maybe you can. No, don't do that. Okay. Yeah. Or do we have a lobby yet?
Yeah, we have a lobby. I guess I should invite you to that, huh?
I mean, it's cool. If you want, it's not a big deal, but it would help.
Are you? I don't even see you online, bro.
Should be. Can I join your game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just join you. I can't join. I am online.
You're not showing them. Restart your client.
Unbelievable, everybody. Spaghetti code. Yeah, I don't know. What's the over-under that Spectator works? 3,000 right points?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, if you're just checking in, we are going through Game 2 of our Tier 2 house party in prep for the summer season of Coach Rivals.
We have 9 players in right now. We need one more. All right, looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, don't let them join.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
No,
we have 10.
I gotta get in.
No, you're good. You're good. We have people. We have some people sitting in spectate. Are you on yet?
Fingers. Here we go. Loading it.
What kind of operation we run in here?
Hey man, it's week 1 of preseason. This is why you do this, right? All right.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, and I'm in.
There you are. I see you now.
Oh, right. Someone invited me to the game. This is very exciting. All right, got everything queued up here. Yeah. Okay, so game 2 of our Wednesday night house party for our Tier 2 folk. Pretty exciting. We had some ideas about how the last game was going to go. We thought that Wombo Combo was going to work out, but turns out Blue Side just had enough poke, and they were just able to kind of get some outplaying a little bit of the red side. Now, there was a pretty awesome steal of the Baron at the end there by Misfortune, going over the wall, but to kind of extend a little bit. But at the end, in the end, Blue Side was able to get this one out. And I'm curious to see. I'm certainly they're going to be. Maybe they'll be switching up a few teams. Maybe we've got some new players in this one, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we definitely had some highlights there in that first game. The Shyvana with the quadra kill. Only losing the Penta because there was a 1v1 solo kill up in the top lane. I believe Kled dropped in the top lane, and then Swoko on the Shyvana was able to pick up the rest of the team. In the mid lane, we had, as you mentioned, the MF bullet time steal over the wall to take the Baron. Yeah, the Jhin got off to a gigantic lead. I believe the Jhin finished deathless. At one point, Jhin was like 11-0 at some point, and I don't believe Jhin died. So pretty wild stuff from that one. I do expect to see some changes in the draft this game. We do have a mix-up of the teams. Teams are not exactly the same, but if teams are not going to be, if they're not going to ban the Shyvana, then they've got to build MR early. They've got to start stacking that MR. So it was tough though, because the Jhin got ahead so early. It made red side pivot towards, well, crap. Let's get some armor because I don't want the Jhin absolutely shredding me. But then you have Shyvana also building flat pin, and that made things very, very difficult for them. Then the Shyvana just comes through as with the tactical nukes to take people out. So definitely going to see some mixing up here. We're in champ select, or I'm sorry, we're in the lobby, and they're trying to decide who's going where.
Yeah, there was some definite AP Shyvana shenanigans going on, just kind of doing a little bit of cleanup sometimes too. When you have a little bit of a scuff and the other players are just a little bit low, everyone kind of backs off, and all of a sudden Shyvana comes flying over the wall and just throws out some fireballs and takes you out. So you think you're a little bit safe, and then that jungler shows up. So I'd be curious, like you said, to see if that one comes through. Tournament draft this time, so they'll get to do their picks and bans. So we'll see. We're mixing it up as we get into these friendly house parties, and we'll see what happens. Curious to see.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Rakan ban too.
Yeah. That was a really nice play too in Rakan.
Yeah. Well, actually, I tell you that a Bulldog Mentor's not in this one, so definitely Shyvana. Shyvana's going to be taken out round 1, 100%. Possibly it was going to see the Jhin go away. Merlin is in. I believe that was Merlin on the Jhin that was just absolutely stomped. We played Clash, I believe it was, with Merlin the other night, and Merlin does prefer some of those kind of more not sustained damage ADCs. So we're looking at things like Jhin, Ezreal, more of those attack weaving things, even like Poke Varus. So he doesn't seem to play like the Lucian, the Vayne, the Ashe, these high attack speed, Kog'Maw, high attack speed ADCs. Seems to play more of those where he can kind of poke down. So they can, the other team can kind of anticipate something like that from Merlin. So the Jhin is kind of right up his alley. So we'll see if we got Trundlebot in there. So that's awesome. So they are getting line. They accidentally added bot. So it looks like we are going to see we're going to see a rematch of top laners. We're going to see Black Beetle 13 versus Axion First in the top lane. I believe Piper Maru is going to be in the jungle again versus Swoko.
Blue side.
Yeah. Lucky B212 is coming in.
Yeah, a new player into this one. Big Bad Hand's back. Mustang's back. So we'll see. It looks like maybe one or two changes, but yeah, we'll see. They're doing the little shift.
Man, what is happening here?
Pretty comical. Looks like Loki Doki's going to be the last one to load in, and then we will get into our draft phase. But yeah, we'll see. A little preview of what's to come for some of these players. We'll have another one of these next week as well. There's going to be 20 competitors in Tier 2, so this is just a fraction of who's playing. I can't tell if they're switching teams or they're trying to get an order. If they're trying to get an order, it's very thoughtful of them. But
I'm so confused. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
it looks like. Yeah, so it looks like Coach Mustang may be going to play support this time, whereas she did play mid last game. The mid lane Lux looks like she's going to support, which is her primary role, if I'm not mistaken. Merlin, who played the Jhin, is swapping over to mid lane for Team 2. So that is going to mix things up. Coach Mustang coming in as the support for Big Bad Hand. Nope, take that back. Loki Doki is going to be. You know what?
Why not? Why not mix it up completely?
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
So maybe we have.
The rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Exactly. Yes, so let's roll this thing. We're going to see what happens here. We do have at least a few people in the same positions they were in. We are mixing things up just a little bit.
All right, we're in.
Yep. Let's see if we can pull this up for y'all.
I smell fear.
And right out the gates, see you later, Shyvana.
Yes, get that abomination out of here.
I don't think anyone was anticipating that sticking around much longer.
Yeah, it's just so obnoxious to play against, because her ultimate is unstoppable. Even if you get out of range of her, she can ult in. You can't stop her from ulting. She ults in, drops the E, and it's just really tough to play against. But double jungle bans. We've got Shyvana and Trundle coming through, and then Garen and Tristana right after that.
Yeah, so I'm curious, who do you think? What else is in Swo's pocket?
Lilia.
Oh, it could be equally as oppressive in a different way.
Also running Dark Harvest.
Just and unbearably cute and adorable while just murdering everybody on the team. So that'll be interesting. Zyra is getting taken out this time, and Schmitty's saying that Big Ben Hand is being target banned with that Tristana ban. So
sure.
Going in on the ADC, going in on the top, going in on our junglers and some supports.
I won't be
some tactical. Sejuani. So some tactical banning going on here, trying to put people on their second or possibly third pick potential.
Yeah, I'm looking for this first pick to likely be either in the bot lane or we're going to go ahead and pick up their jungle here for blue side. But I've been wrong many times before. That Graves is likely going top lane in the hands of Black Beetle. It's likely not a Graves jungle as we see the Lux coming through from red side.
Yeah, Piper's not much. I don't think she plays a lot of Graves jungle, so that is most likely going to be top side. Ezreal coming in, Swoko picking up somebody, possibly a bot lane pick, unless we're going to see some wild Ezreal jungle.
No, Eric's not playing this match. So that's definitely going to be in the hands of Merlin. He likes those ability-centric kind of burst damage ADC, so Ezreal's right up his alley. But have a spicy pick locked in from Piper Maru there, Cooper.
Yeah, Yasuo. Nobody likes Yasuo on your team or on the other team. The odds are never in anyone's favor. So probably going mid. I don't imagine that's any sort of jungle, but I've seen Yasuo in the ADC as well. So we'll see the Maokai getting picked up for some support Maokai, and that's going to be up against this Leona. So some tanky tanks in the bot lane so far. Be curious to see how the ADC is responded here. What Big Bad Hand's gonna try and pull out for this one.
Yeah, this is likely gonna be AP Maokai in the support role for Coach Mustang. She really loves to play that AP Maokai. She's posted some of her damage numbers in the CR Discord, and it is pretty nasty. I've played it myself. You can drop your saplings in the jungle and just be a real nuisance and pest to the enemy jungler. It looks like we have a missed ban for red side. They didn't ban their 4th champion, so you snooze, you lose. But you mentioned Leona coming through for Lucky B212. Leona is likely going to be running Aftershock. So as long as she's making contact with her E, she dashes in, gets that tanky burst of stats, drops the W down to get even more tanky. So the Maokai is going to be looking to poke down that Leona to try to dissuade some of those all-ins. But it should be interesting to see. The one thing that is also really cool with the Maokai paired up with the Yasuo is Yasuo can ult off of Maokai's Q. So you're likely to see Maokai W in on a priority target, possibly the Lux if the Lux gets really far ahead, or even the Ezreal. Maokai has a point-click route in the W, so he can point-click on that Ezreal, W to the Ezreal, root him, Q, and it instantly gives Yasuo a target to ult on. And as I'm running my mouth, we have an extremely spicy pick locked in for red side.
Yeah, Fiora banned, Lilia banned, but they said that's fine. We'll just sneak around and pull an Evelynn out of the hat. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's new to me. I didn't know Spo played Evelynn. I know the Shyvana and the Lilia, so I'm interested to see how that, which adds a whole nother wrinkle to the game, because once she hits level 6, she gets the perma stealth, and you can't really see her moving around the map on any ward. So warding is going to be extremely important for blue side. They're going to want to be putting wards not in the river, right? They cannot put their wards in lanes. They've got to drop their wards on Evelynne's jungle camps, because you've got to be able to see what camp she's clearing, that she will break stealth when she does that. And then that's going to give them the opportunity to say, okay, she's on bot side of the map. She may not be trying to gank us, but we know she's in our area, so we're going to give her some space.
Yeah, it totally changes the way you play when you play against a champ like that. It's like a Shaco or a Zac. Like you just can't do kind of like the set it and forget it style of warding the river, because those paths just don't exist, or you'll never know when they're going through them. So the Mordekaiser is getting picked up as well at the end there in a Sivir. So that's going to flush these teams out. There we go. I mean, I've seen Mordekaiser support. It's pretty fun. A Mumu again. Piper on a Mumu. So trying to make something happen on that this time. But this team now has a little bit a difference on both sides. Last time we talked about how that red side was all about this big Wombo combo opportunity. But what do you see now? Just heavy poke from Ez. Mordekaiser can obviously take you to the Death Realm. But what are you seeing over there with these team comps? What's the fight? What are they both looking for?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really difficult for each of these teams is their damage distribution is not balanced. So the Graves, Yasuo, Sivir are all going to be doing heavy AD damage. So it's going to be easy for red side to itemize armor and mitigate a lot of the damage. Yes, the Maokai is going to be building AP and do some damage, but it's a lot of overtime damage. So at the end of the game, you're going to see Maokai's going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage, but it's all going to be overtime damage throughout the course of the map because of the sapling charges. Whereas if you look on the red side, they're heavily itemized. Heavily built for magic damage. Even though Ezreal is in the bot lane as like an AD carry, all of Ezreal's abilities do actual magic damage. So even though he is labeled as like a bot laner AD carry, he's more of like the spell slinger AD, and his E does magic damage. His W does magic damage. His ultimate does magic damage. So even though he's going to be, building Sheen and likely have some AD in there, all of his actual damage type is magic, even though it's scaling with the AD. So it's going to be easy for blue side to itemize against that damage. They can build MR. Blue side builds MR, and they're gonna feel happy. Red side is going to build armor, and they're going to feel pretty happy. I think the Mordekaiser is going to have a difficult time, at least in the early game, trying to decide when he hits level 6, who am I going to target with the ult? Because that ult is so powerful. You instantly turn a team fight into, instead of it's a 5v5, it's a 4v4. And even if the Mordekaiser isn't the strongest member on red side, Mordekaiser could be the weakest member on red side. Using his ult on the strongest member of blue side, you're trading your weakest member for their strongest member. You just gave your team an advantage.
Oh yeah, and if you take out someone who's getting some serious DPS going, like if they take out Yasuo and they take the wind wall out, then that can turn a fight. If they take out Maokai, they can take out the tank, or a damage sponge, or Mumu as a damage sponge, just depending on how things are going, and that can be enough for Ezreal or Leona to engage. Leona can get a little bit further back, do the combo, the classic Leona combo, and that can allow Ezreal to pop off, and you take out something that couldn't have negated that. It's one of the more interesting elements of having a Mordekaiser is even if you're not doing great, you can still have huge game potential. But we can't talk about Mordekaiser without talking about QSS.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just on my mind as you were talking too. That is the Mordekaiser counter. You build a Quicksilver Sash, then you instantly take yourself out of the Death Realm. But it's kind of like the Skarner tax. It's do you want to pivot away from the items that you're currently building in order to spend 800 gold? That feels terrible. 800 gold is a Kindle gem. 800 gold is 800 gold is 2 cloth armors. 800 gold is 2 long swords. I mean, there's so many stats. That's boots plus something else. With the 800 gold, it sucks. Honestly, it just sucks to build the QSS. It
just feels like a roadblock in the way.
Yeah.
Of the plan, and we're just transitioning. So this is kind of what happens is we're loading in the client, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So just hold tight as we get the stream pulled up here.
I'll say mine's working. I'm at 23 seconds. 24, 25.
Well, yes, it's the ingest part that always seems to.
Yeah. I just want to. I'm letting you know that I didn't get the. I did not get the spectator bug this time. So it looks like we are going to have a standard 5-point defense. I know you can't see the match right now, so I'm going to narrate it for you as best I can while Coop does his spot on the technical side. But 5-point defense here from both sides. Looks like Evelynn is starting top side. Nope. She is going to go ahead and recall. Did not end up dropping the ward on her red buff. Just went to go watch the river. I'm sorry, did drop the ward right before the recall completed and did not swap out to the sweeper trinket. So keeping those wards in on the Evelynn, looking to do some maybe counter jungling and some warding there. But that is going to be Evelynn recalling, dropping a ward on her red, heading back down to bot side to get the leash on the blue buff from the Ezreal. You mentioned earlier about red side. You are going to see some poke raining down from the Lux and the Ezreal. That's why I think MR from blue side is going to be really important. They want to be able to survive some of that poke. And what's going to be really crazy is if Ocean Dragon is the soul this match, that's going to be very, very much heavily favored towards blue side. They are going to want to get that because of the poke coming from the Lux and the Ezreal. But red side's not going to turn it away because that the Maokai damage with the saplings is really stinking annoying. There's some of that sapling damage there now coming from the Maokai. She's going to keep throwing those saplings in the brush. Every time they get dropped in the brush, they get empowered. Then you have Merlin mistakenly walked towards the brush and aggroed the sapling. Already down at 50% health, is going to level up and get some of that back. But yeah, it just feels really bad going against an AP Maokai.
Yeah, it's working, so that's the great thing. The sound is working, so Mr. H is happy. If Mr. H is happy, then I'm happy. Yeah, so getting into this one, as we can see, Ezreal's getting poked down a little bit here. We'll see how this one plays out. I'm really interested to see how both these laners or these junglers are pathing the same kind of deal. Amumu is gonna walk back down to their wolves as Evelynn is looking like they're setting up for their first little go-ahead on Graves up here in the top lane as they're coming around, pulling in by the Mordekaiser, and Graves is going to try and drop some smoke and get out of there. A 2v1 up in the top lane, though, and that's going to be a burn flash, and walking away. Looks like a little bit of damage is going to be ticking down, but not enough to take Graves out. What is the health left on that Graves? Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, so that was a really, really cool play. I think Black Beetle may have fired his smoke screen in the wrong direction. Obviously, when you're getting ganked, things get a little hairy. A flash coming through from the Evelynn. But yeah, I think got a little bit of a misclick on the smoke screen, but it still worked out. He was able to get out of there and only burning flash. He does have TP to be able to get back to lane if he so chooses, but the lane is pushed away from him, so he could just walk back, kind of safely and not miss out on too much as he would have if the lane was shoving. But one thing I really like, too, I want to mention about blue side is Big Bad Hand is running the Dark Harvest kind of poke build on Sivir. That does a lot of damage, but it is not sustained damage. It's more like poke damage. So he's going to, if they get low, he throws the Q out, gets maybe the double damage on the return from the Boomerang Blade. So that does make things tough for blue side because they have no consistent damage from their ADC, but that's why they supplement that with the Yasuo, who is going to be building attack speed. So I do like that balance of attacking type. You have the burst damage from the Sivir and the consistent damage from the Yasuo, but again, they are both AD. So that is going to make things pretty interesting moving into the late game to see if red side itemizes armor for them.
And that's the real question there is, will they will they itemize in that way, which is it's a big shift to be able to read the comp and say, okay, we're gonna build into this. It's just like the QSS. It's like, hey, am I gonna be the one that's gonna be hit by Mordekaiser? Do I want to risk the 800 gold on this thing? And that's just we'll just have to see how that plays out for these teams. As we see, Evelynn is now pathing into the bot side. We see that blue side bot lane has been pushed up, doing pretty good work. We'll see if that's going to be an attempt from Evelynn as we get a little bit of a 1v1 here. Mordekaiser coming in with that shield against Black Beetle. Black Beetle is pretty low, 25%. Here comes the hammer, and it's going to be enough to take them down, but not out. As Mordekaiser is doing some work up there with a 10 CS lead. He's got some extra money in the pocket. We'll see if they're able to play with that. We'll see if Black Beetle is going to try and stick around here a little bit. Mordekaiser has the 6, so if Mordekaiser goes in, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Graves heading to the Death Realm, unless they can get into that turret. Because here's the thing about the Death Realm. The Death Realm turrets don't care about the Death Realm.
Right.
Yeah, and in yes, chat, we'll be able to put team names and logos up there and customize that scoreboard. The coach from Harlem Esports has volunteered to make all of those graphics. Thanks.
Yeah, what a legend.
Appreciate it, Brad. I believe he's already working on some, which is exciting. And yes, I think Greg is in the chat. Greg, are you there in the voice?
Greg's in Discord. He can
join us anytime.
He can hear us.
So Jasmo as well.
You are going to there's the Death Realm. Go ahead, Coop, take it away.
Yeah, Death Realm is coming into play. The hammer's coming down. Action is very full on health. It's gonna get that first blood. That first blood at 7 minutes. So we haven't seen a very heavy engaged matchup here with some early kills, but we do get our first kill at the 7-minute mark, just a minute before Herald. So we'll see if that can do anything. Action putting down some early initiative there. The CS is still is shrinking, but that kill is going to definitely help out.
Yeah, and some items are going to be really important for both of these teams. Like red side, plated steel caps is going to be extremely effective for them because you have 3 auto attack based champions on blue side in the Graves, Yasuo, and the Sivir. Even though Sivir is going that lethality Dark Harvest build, she's going to be throwing some autos out there. And then for blue side, they might consider possibly even something like a Banshee's Veil, or the Sivir's likely going to get maybe something like an Edge of Night to try to block some of these crucial long range abilities like the Sivir Q. I'm sorry, the Lux Q, or maybe the Evelynn Charm. Some of those abilities that if they make contact with you, they that means you're pretty much insta dead. So they may want some of those items that will nullify the first ability that hits them. Obviously, they have to be mindful of the Ezreal Q because that can proc that and get rid of that shield very easily. But just something to consider from them. Both sides, have kind of drafted things that force the other team to maybe itemize a little bit differently than they normally would, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, and Brad's in the chat. He's asking for all the cool stuff that League Broadcasting do. So happy to throw those things up. We're as you hopefully can't tell. Hopefully can tell. We're testing. We are very much pros at this. We're testing out some stuff for the stream coming this summer. So probably some hiccups and some missteps here and there, but all in all, these are definitely the same players that will be playing in the summer, and we're looking to res up as much as we can. So the scoreboard will be branded. We'll have some logos up there and some other fun things going on. But I'm still just impressed by the fact that we're almost at the 10-minute mark, and we only have that 1 kill on the board. And the last game was kind of like that too. It was kind of a back and forth matchup until 12 minutes into the game when things started popping off. So both teams are just kind of posturing this time around. We got a big fight coming here in the top lane. Black Beetle's going to have to flash out of that one. So Mordekaiser is kind of taking a commanding presence there. Still able to keep up with the CS a little bit with that Graves play, but they're definitely pressuring a little bit aggressively for being kind of low in the health right now.
Yeah, and that Mordekaiser does have the ignite too. So yeah, Graves is dead here.
Ooh, that's gonna do it right there.
And he didn't use the ignite. So it feels bad as the Graves. You can't really get out of that, and the Mordekaiser has the kill pressure. Graves can make the cross map plays that Mordekaiser can't because of the TP. So if Graves can apply some pressure in the side lane, draw Mordekaiser up there to him, and as the rest of blue side is maybe grouping for an objective on the opposite side of the map, then he can TP in and leave Mordekaiser in that top lane. And so, turn a 4v4 into a 5v4 in favor of the blue side. So they can still look to make some plays that way, but things are looking pretty bleak early as that Mordekaiser already does have that 150 gold bounty.
150 gold bounty. We'll see if Amumu can do anything with that. Right now, Amumu is just going for Rift Herald. So not a bad play. Mordekaiser is kind of just taking a little bit distracted by that top lane, able to get an early Rift, easy Rift, just uncontested completely by that Amumu. We'll see if that plays off. Bot side's pretty even right now. The CS is great. Yasuo's got a CS lead in the mid lane, but it hasn't led to any plates or anything. So I'm curious where Amumu might be thinking of putting down this Rift Herald. I don't know. There's definitely some options here between mid lane, as we do see what looks to be our first potential big fight. Bot lane blue side's coming up. Red side is posturing for this Drake fight. They're going to get that scuttle crab and start to go in. Yasuo is rolling down as well. So I don't know if blue side's going to be able to come in here and do anything about this, but Yasuo is just going to poke around the pixel brush and just make themselves known. It's going to eventually walk off.
Yeah, and that doesn't feel so bad as blue side. You've already got the first Drake. You got the Hextech Drake. You've got the Rift. You can afford to give up one Drake. It's not a big deal. You also had your bot lane still coming from base. Sivir and Maokai weren't there. So, not really a big deal to give that Mountain Drake up if they're not stacking Mountain Drakes, as we do have the ult come through from Amumu.
Oh, but look at this. I mean, that's a big play right there. I mean, yes, Mordekaiser gets a kill, but they take that Drake and they kind of back off, and maybe they're thinking, okay, well, if they take the Drake, then they're going to go back to base, and that's going to leave us this mid lane. And that's kind of what happened as Amumu goes and drops that Rift Herald. We got another fight here, though. The Amumu did go down, but Jubilee is able to Yasuo Loki-Doki, and it's going to get Swoko as well. That is Yasuo things. There you go.
Yeah, so that was awesome. The Evelynn was coming in for the gank. He ended up tagging Lux with the Q3. He was able to ult onto the Lux, juking away from the Evelynn, and just able to take out the Lux and then get his stacks back up on his wind passive, give himself a shield, survive a little bit. He doesn't have any lifesteal yet. So once that immortal shield bow comes through from Yasuo, he's going to be even more difficult to kill. But things kind of at parity right now, with Mordekaiser being so far ahead and then the Yasuo being ahead as well.
Yeah, and a big bad hand attempt to go in and dive, saved by the support there, taking a turret shot, trying to get a kill. I've thrown the gold graph up because it's exciting. Red side had a commanding lead in gold for a while, but has just turned over into blue side's favor just recently. So early on, blue was in the lead with money, but red side's kind of taking it away. But now a big swing for the blue side. So pretty interesting to see how that's going to swing around. We've got that mid lane turret cracked, or mid lane cracked for blue. We'll see if they can make some advantageous plays with that one.
Yeah, and Mordekaiser's fine right here. Staying up here in this top lane, he's already won the 1v1 matchup. So if he could just keep this 1v1 with the Graves, he's not going to die. Mordekaiser should not lose this matchup ever now. He's so far ahead. He could potentially die to a gank, but if Amumu comes up topside to gank the Mordekaiser, that just means that Evelynn can make a play on the bot side. And if they come to gank the Mordekaiser could just yoink one of the players into the Death Realm, kill him in the 1v1, come out stronger with stolen stats, and then when end up turning a double from a 1v2. So this is not a lane that Amumu likely wants to come to. It looks like Yasuo fancies a fight, but yeah, Mordekaiser is feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mordekaiser is just strong, has a little bit of range, can definitely solo a 2v1 into a 1v1. So it's a tough gig to do. I mean, and then if you do try to collapse on Mordekaiser, you're just kind of all sitting around waiting for the Death Realm to end. The problem is if Mordekaiser gets a kill in the Death Realm, he enters buffed from the stats from that kill. So it's kind of dangerous when they're up ahead, and they're 2 levels up on Black Beetle as well. As Black Beetle is going to go in on this and try to make something happen. Just there you go. Yeah. Death Realm was used to finish off, but all that being said, Mordekaiser still hasn't been able to push forward and take advantage of this lead like we're seeing in mid lane. Like Red side hasn't been able to reverse this Yasuo. I mean, the Rift Herald did help a lot with that, but right now we're still kind of in this interesting little stalemate. It's only 2-5.
Yeah, but you can see the attention that he's drawing up now. You say, yeah, it's 2-5. We're 16 minutes in, but you just saw 2 other members of Blue Team go up to try to deal with that Mordekaiser. They weren't able to get there in time. Mordekaiser got back to his tower, was able to recall. So yeah, he hasn't gotten that tower yet, but he's actually drawing the Yasuo up. Yasuo is falling behind tempo on CS. It's minute 16. He's at 116 CS, which isn't terrible, right? Yasuo's still beating the Lux in CS, but he could be upwards of 140, even 150 CS right now. But he's roaming up to try to deal with that Mordekaiser. So the Mordekaiser pressure is working, even though he's not getting the tower. If he could just keep this 1v1, you're going to see him like really take over that top side of the map and really pull blue side apart.
Yeah, and just because you said CS and I can do it, and Schmitty thinks it's really cool when I pull the graphs out. The CS per minute graph is up on the screen now on the stream, and you can see that Yasuo is second, 6.9 per minute. But the Sivir is definitely pulling weight there. So out of the top 5, we have 3 blue, and we'll see if that has a big fight coming in here. Swoko has been taken out by Sivir, and Stream Director is going to move us away to the top lane. Back down to the bot lane we go, as we've got Lucky and Merlin incredibly low, and a flash coming out from Swoko, and the flash by Jubilus to try to get in there is going to try and make some things happen. As everyone's tower diving here on the bot side to try and crush this thing.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, and there we go. Jubilus Yasuo does Yasuo things, takes out Ezreal. Swoko slain Mamumu, and that's going to be a huge fight. Walking all the way down bot lane. They don't care about that turret. Yasuo doesn't care about turrets.
Yeah, this is turning into Mordekaiser versus Yasuo. This ultimate clash of the Titans. Mordekaiser just swinging that big hammer around in the top lane, and Yasuo doing wind things on the other side of the map. And both of these guys, Mordekaiser sitting at 5-0, 350 gold bounty. Yasuo at 4-0 with 400 gold bounty. At some point, these two champions are going to match up. And it's going to be pretty nutty once they do. It'll be a good battle between the two of them because they're both just absolute titans on their teams right now.
Yeah, taking out the dragon, just pulling up that gold graph because it's fun. Yasuo is sitting at the top of the key with gold. We'll just push the button down here too to get some gold on the bottom of the screen. So you can do the math down there. What's kind of cool about this gold graph is my understanding is it also tells you what's in people's pockets. So you can kind of see who's hoarding gold. Maokai's got 1,500. And Mordekaiser's got 1,200. So Mordekaiser's rolling down. Looks like they're going to be setting up for Rift, or at least clearing some vision down there. We'll see where they're able to pull anything out of that. Just going to leave it. Not going to drop their own vision, but and backing to buy here.
Sivir's still doing well. Sivir's still going to be making an impact, especially if Big Bad Hand can connect on the Lux or the Evelynn with those boomerang blades and hit both sides of the boomerang blade, traveling to and back, does a ridiculous amount of damage. So this is a really, really close match. The Evelynn can obviously burst the Sivir. We saw that happen in that last team fight bot side. Graves is struggling right now, a little bit behind. trying to match up with the Mordekaiser. I'd be interested to see when the blue side's going to rotate Yasuo to try to match lanes with the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, well, they did just pick up that second Rift Herald, so 2 Rift Heralds is pretty huge. That's going to help them for sure to help combat some of that top lane pressure. The gold graph I have up now, it looks really crazy, but the reality is it's only within 1,000. So even though they've been doing, we look at this gold graph and it looks really insane.
Run, Blake.
Oh, God. Shelly, get off the screen. Yeah, Blackbeard's going to have to run away from this one. Level 14 to level 11, but here comes Piper Mario to level 11, but at least just to fend off Mordekaiser, so it's going to keep that kill from happening. Unfortunately, Evelynn is in the lanes as well in the top side, looking to potentially make something happen. But going to back off and reset a little bit. A lot of posturing is going down in the bot side. Now mid lane, 4 of red side are here to kind of shove this mid lane wave out. Ooh, flash from Piper comes in. Amumu goes in with the stun, the root, the ult, the everything. Big fight coming in, but Maru's going to go down. Ezreal ult's going to miss. Lucky P12 is going to go down. Jubilus now hunting. Yasuo hunting for Ezreal. Wind wall up. And that's going to be a bit costly.
Yeah, and here's the cool thing that you see when, by them not shifting the Yasuo to match the Mordekaiser, they say, okay, Mordekaiser, you're better at 1v1. Yes, you see the Mordekaiser pressed all the way to that tier 2 in the top. Mordekaiser's great in 1v1. Yasuo is an absolute terror in team fights, more so than Mordekaiser is. Mordekaiser usually yoinks somebody to the death realm, likes that 1v1. Yasuo thrives dashing in and out of the fight, getting those E-procs through and then getting the AoE with the Qs. So by not matching the Yasuo with the Mordekaiser, they're able to get the Yasuo in the middle of that fight. The Amumu queued in, got the ultimate onto 2 members of red side. They're able to get the Yasuo into ultimate onto the Leona. I think he was going for the Lux, but ended up hitting the Leona and said, you know what, I'm just going to take it anyways. Got through, killed the Lux anyways, killed the Leona, and yes, even though Mordekaiser's stomping that top lane, we just stomped your mid lane. So they're willing to take that trade.
So they didn't even drop. They haven't even dropped that Herald yet until just now, when it's a huge Herald. Lux is going to come in, try to do something, but it's not going to get much. That's going to get this next turret down in the mid lane, which is a huge opening. But a big fight's coming in as Yasuo tries to throw out some wind to make something happen.
Nice.
But now blue side's getting pushed off, so they did get that turret. Evelynn and Mordekaiser are coming to join the fight now too. Yasuo is pretty low. Mordekaiser's coming around. I'm thinking that flash is going to lead to a death realm. Yasuo might be finally taken out. Looks like they are. That's going to be pretty big. Mordekaiser is super strong right now. And we'll see if anything happens. Wow, a lot of poke just coming out.
So much happened in that fight too. The Yasuo with a really quick wind wall onto the Ezreal ultimate, negating a lot of that AoE damage that could be wrapping through the team, shredding the minion wave. Mordekaiser coming down, ulting onto the Yasuo. We finally get the 1v1 that we've been building up, and it was pretty anticlimactic because Mordekaiser just kind of stands there and lets his W or passive, whatever he has built up, just shred through the Yasuo, doing some really good work. So yeah, I mean, Mordekaiser now at this point may want to go ahead and say, all right, fine. You know what? Yasuo wants to team fight. Let's team fight, bro. Yeah. I'm going to show up. I'm going to take you to the death realm. I think my 4 teammates can take out your 4 teammates. And we're going to see, that's the gauntlet that's going to be thrown down. So one little mechanic there I do want to point out there, what the dish doesn't stack from the brush. So if both saplings hit at the same time, you don't get the double burn damage. From that, it just kind of resets the burn damage instead of stacking. But yeah, just a little tidbit there. So I have another team fight breakout.
Yeah, big team fight posturing over Drake going in as we've already got a fight coming in. Lots of stuns going in. Piper Mario flailing in as that Amumu, but the Lux ult's going to come out and do not enough damage to kill anybody. Team members are going down. The roots are coming down. Looks like red side's kind of getting the better out of this. A double kill for that Mordekaiser. We talked about that Mordekaiser, but this is just kind of a bizarro wipe where everybody's kind of dead, but Ezreal, Evelynn, and Mordekaiser are back. So a lot of action.
Is my stream off? My stream is off. Are are you? What time are you at right now?
Oh, 20. Oh, let me find out.
I'm at 24:57.
Oh, yeah, you might be.
I'm at 25. 25:01, 02, 03.
Meow, 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 meow. Everybody speeding up. All right.
Okay, you catch up. All right, cool. Because there was a potential steal there for the Sivir, did not come through. So a couple really cool things in that last team fight. Loki Doki's ult from the Lux shredded 3 members of Blue Side. They all got rooted up there in the middle, right in that little tight corridor, just south of mid lane in that banana brush. And Loki Doki, even though falling behind to the Yasuo down nearly 40 CS, absolutely obliterated Blue Side with the Lux ult. So that looked really good. And then as I believe Evelyn was trying to get away after that fight, surviving with like 10 HP, there was a Maokai sapling in the brush that Evelyn walked into and kind of went poof. So really, really neat stuff there.
Yeah, and a few more team fights than we were used to seeing.
He can win this. Graves can... So like Graves could win that. Graves can win this 1v1. Well, not now. Now he's dead. But
not at the moment.
Yeah, if the ult connected, he won that. So like I said, even though Graves is 0-7-0 and the Mordekaiser got so far ahead, he's not against the Mordekaiser right now. Like Graves is still Graves.
Graves is still Graves. You can throw the ult out. You can use the kit if you can. The problem is you can't always see who you're using it against. And when they're in the bush, that makes it a little more difficult. Mordekaiser has swapped lanes now. Is just going to go fight Sivir. Try and shove out some waves down there. Do what they did in top lane. Try to crack some things open. As we see that the gold is back in red side's favor, even though blue side has significantly more objectives down. They have been able to get those picks due to that Mordekaiser 9-0. So objectives are in the favor of our blue side, but red side seems to have a little bit more of a commanding lead as far as taking champs out. So we'll see if that plays into anything. Ult coming out, kind of posture and push back the blue side. 3v2 over here in the mid lane though.
Yeah, and I don't think blue side's really upset with that bot lane matchup. Sivir can clear the wave here. Mordekaiser should never take that tower from Sivir. Sivir should be able to clear it with both her W and the Q, just shred that wave. And so the Mordekaiser's just kind of standing there. So they're keeping the Mordekaiser busy. This would be a really good time for blue side to try to pick a fight mid lane while red side's strongest member isn't there. Yeah, and blue side's now looking really low. The poke has been real from this 3v2. Evelyn did path up north to go and challenge Graves. We'll see if Graves is able to make something happen this time. I don't think they're going to be able to. Evelyn is able to take this 1v1. Swoko is dominating now, hitting that 7th kill. Mordekaiser now chasing down. Oh my god, did you see the crit on that shot? That was insane. Now red side is kind of taking a little bit of a different move here. Putting in the pressure that Leona just cannot die. And blue side is now going a little bit too far forward, and that's going to cost them. Yasuo is going to go down, and Piper is stunned. Is going to have to flash back to the turret. Ezreal is going to try and make that final shot happen on a Mumu, and it's not going to be able to connect. So Leona's going to have to back after this one. They're probably going to get this turret, and that's going to change the momentum in red side's favor for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Sivir stepped a little too far away from that tower. Once Mordekaiser can get you away from that tower and then, ult you, there's really nothing you can do as a Sivir. Sivir really could just hug the tower and kind of stay there indefinitely, just doing wave clear. But it feels bad as an ADC. It's like, okay, maybe he's gone, and I can step away from my tower a little bit. And then surprise, there's a Mordekaiser in the brush, just camping there and is able to get the pick on the Sivir. And then, as you mentioned, the poke mid lane coming through from this Lux Ezreal is just so much. That is a great way to counter some of these hard engaged champions like the Amumu. If you poke them down enough, you're really dissuading them doing the all-in engage because they're not going in at their full power. And sorry, everybody, our awesome league broadcast kind of failed us for a second there, but it should be back. And we're back in. We got a big fight coming in as the Ezreal ult's going to kind of try and come in. Yasuo is going in
up against that Mordekaiser, but it's just getting poked down
point,
relentlessly. But now we've got a 5v4, but 2 of the blue side are very, very low at 50%. Clearing some vision, posturing. They're moving as a unit, like a school of fish. It's kind of beautiful to watch. The dragon has been pulled out. The vision game is strong for red side, so they know they're coming. Lux ult's going to miss. That's going to be down for a little bit. The dragon's going to be picked up, and the fight is going to just move away as they're able to take that and then head back into their jungle.
Yeah, you say, I mean, that was a 5v4. I mean, blue side had their full squad. Red only had 4 of theirs because Leona was respawning. And it's just really tough for them to just charge in head first into red side. They need to be looking more probably for those off-angle engages, maybe a death brush, maybe the Amumu Q over the wall, right, to try to start a fight instead of, kind of, running right at them, because they are going to eat a lot of that poke from the Lux. Lux is going to see target, shoot target. Throw the Q out, throw the ult out. She sees you grouped up, she's going to ult. Ezreal's there, they can ult. So there's just so much damage that they can layer over you as you're grouping up as a team. Really dissuades that engage there at that neutral objective. So, but blue side's still hanging on. I mean, it's 31 minutes in. It's less than a 3,000 gold lead, if I do quick math, right? Then they're not out of it by any means. And although that is soul point for red side, they definitely want to contest the next dragon. They do have a little bit of breathing room. They're still, just shy of 4 minutes left until the next Drake. So they have some time to try to get some parity in these lanes, push them out a little bit, maybe try to get a pick, establish some vision for themselves in the jungle, lay some of those saplings down to try to weaken the Evelynn as she goes to farmer camps. And they could potentially turn something back. And it really, all it takes is one really, really good engage and get this Yasuo in with an ult on the squishies on this Lux and Ezreal when Mordekaiser's not there, and you've completely swung the game.
Then red turret's going down. Yeah, sorry everybody, the league broadcast kind of bailed on us, so it went a little wonky, so it screwed things up a little bit. But knocking at the door a little bit more now. Blue side trying to make some things happen here. We'll see what can go on. Mordekaiser now is just taking turrets, but the collapse is here. Evelynn a little bit on backup, possibly, to help with this. I don't know. This Mordekaiser is so strong. Death Realm's coming out on Yasuo. Yasuo is trying to get away. Huge crit, flashing out to the other side. Gonna be able to get out of the Death Realm and get out with their life for just a little bit longer. Smoko's gonna go down, and that's gonna leave Mordekaiser just against Piper Maru on Amumu. And that hammer is coming down. Amumu's trying to get out of the way. Sivir, can you do anything to help? Not really. The hand comes in to pull back, and Mordekaiser is doing work now on the other side of the map.
Yeah, level 18. He's the only level 18 player in the game. Mordekaiser is massive. 80 CS lead, 13-0-1, 700 gold bounty. I mean, this Mordekaiser is absolutely massive, and it's tough. I mean, the Yasuo went in a little bit early, and so Mordekaiser was able to yoink him out. You got to imagine some QSSs coming in at some point, because that could help sway some of those fights. If you get a QSS on the Yasuo, which is who Mordekaiser's likely going to ultimate, right? You QSS out of it, all of a sudden Mordekaiser's standing in the midst of 2 or 3 blue team members. They could potentially turn a fight there, but gosh, he's just so strong right now. It's difficult for them to deal with. Graves was trying to split push in that top lane, which could work, because you see red team did not get the inhib.
Nope.
Right? So they did win that fight. They did a lot of work, but they did not get the inhib. So blue team's still hanging on. They can still get this Graves split push going.
Yeah, Graves is going to try and do some work up top. Mordekaiser, though, is huge and now farming camps as well earlier, and is just taking the team to task. Huge CS numbers, so massive amounts of money in that pocket. Level 18, able to buy pretty much anything they want now if they wanted to. 17,000 gold for the game so far. So nothing on the shelf is out of reach, as they are now 4 wide, knocking on this turret. But that split push Graves is going to have to be answered at some point. I mean, they've got a big fat wave with them as well. And now it looks like mid lane is backing off. Mordekaiser's going to go fight Graves in the top lane a little bit. And that's going to help really relieve the pressure.
Yeah, and Mordekaiser back, but we got Dragon spawning in 13 seconds. So, if Graves can keep Mordekaiser busy up here, Graves is going to Graves might die here, right? He's going to flash. He's going to try to E away. He's going to dash, try to let the minions slow down the Mordekaiser. He's trying to get away. The rest of the blue team, they're looking at Drake. So we're actually going to have a 4v4 down here near the Drake if they can get there in time.
Yeah, and I mean, look how much time this Graves is costing this Mordekaiser just chasing. And Graves is able to get away from a lot of this onslaught. But there's the Death Realm trying to get away now. But that was a huge chase from Graves to take action out of any sort of fight. And now we've got another minion wave crashing in on this inhib. So that really put Mordekaiser back on the back foot. That's a big shift right there.
Yeah, and the good news here is that it's only Cloud Soul. It's kind of like, well, it could be worse. It could be Hextech Soul. It could have been Infernal Soul, but it's not. It's only Cloud Soul. Not a big deal. But that also means as another fight breaks out.
Yeah, big fight, and we're gonna see Ezreal go down. So that's some poke and some damage. As we got some minions cracking.
The final boss is here.
Mordekaiser comes from the pincer movement, is just chasing them down. Evelynn takes out Yasuo. Ezreal, unfortunately, is back in the game on Death Timer, so not that big a deal. Evelynn is now chasing the Maokai. Sapling is out. Amumu goes to save, does a little bit of the smite, and everybody's going to get out of that.
Okay, all right. So
wow, everybody survives. Everyone wins.
Yeah. So I kind of
sort of.
I got cut off by the team fight. But the good news for blue side is because red team took Dragon Soul, you have Elder coming up, and so you could coin flip Elder. Maybe red side tunnels on it while Amumu's still up with smite. Amumu comes in, smites the Elder. You instantly swing a team fight because you have the super buff. As we have, Mordekaiser does have ult here.
Mordekaiser.
Okay, but he's low.
Yeah, he's not. He pops the shield, but is. Oh, he's for real. Okay, Mordekaiser is gonna finally go down. Takes out Maokai as well. A little bit of overstay, a little overzealous. Get that inhib, I guess. That's pretty big. I mean, what's that? That's a minute-long death timer, and 30 seconds on Maokai. So that's a lot of time for blue side to push these waves out and get something happening in these lanes. Ezreal now is shoving a little bit of a wave, but that's pretty big. I mean, Elder's up in 3.5 minutes. I'm curious to see how blue side's going to turn this. We've got some waves happening in top and bottom, but they're really pushing that mid lane. So a lot of posturing going on.
We really need a QSS on Yasuo. He's getting eat up right now with the Mordekaiser and the Evelynn. The QSS not only does it remove that death realm, but it also gives you magic resist. So that's going to be a huge investment for him. It looks like he's possibly going towards the Infinity Edge right now because like we said earlier, right? It feels bad building the QSS because you take that 800 gold, you could have gotten something different with it, but. At some point, I think they've got to because, even though Mordekaiser overextended there, we've seen what he can do with that Cloud Soul. He does have his ult coming off of cooldown a lot more quickly than it normally would. So they're not as easily able to play around his ultimate as they would if they didn't have Cloud Soul. So that does kind of feel bad with it being Cloud Soul. But it's still relatively close. Only 2,500 gold separating these two teams. It's wild.
2,500 as Graves is trying to push these waves out at the cost of Graves' life as the 2v1 is going to sink, but that's going to open up some map pressure for others. Sivir is here kind of defending the base. They did shove a wave up top. So it looks like we're going to get a big collapse here as Mordekaiser down to 50% health. The shield's built up pretty good. That means that Mordekaiser can get a nice little chunk of health back if they pop that W. But we'll see. We got a big fight here. Posturing. 30 seconds on Black Beetle. So this is definitely in red side's favor. And 1 minute and 45 seconds on Elder.
You see the Mordekaiser did get not only plated steel caps, but also Thornmail. So he's good in the 1v1 versus Yasuo. He's like, you know what? Fine. Come on. The only other thing that would, maybe help would be something like a Frozen Heart. But, he's got so much damage with all the other stuff, and he's so far ahead. He can make that pivot towards Thornmail, and that be enough. Because he still wants to kind of maximize that damage. But he's solid in the 1v1. Nobody can 1v1 the Mordekaiser right now. So if he just sits
sitting
himself,
on 3,200 gold right
yeah, because he has nothing else to buy.
He's
he
go
go buy an elixir. Go buy an elixir.
Yeah, just get stronger. So they're now. This is there's
Secret
Yasuo.
Agent Yasuo behind enemy lines.
Yeah. Doing Yasuo things, trying to hit that red blast cone, but it's not going to happen.
All right, yeah.
But the poke is coming in strong. Action first is down to 50% health.
Watch the Graves. Watch the Graves.
Yep. Graves top lane. No vision up there except for the minions, so they don't necessarily see this happening. It's kind of a bait here now as Maokai is going to blast out. Evelynn is going to keep engaging on that. Swoko is going to take out Coach Mustang. But the Graves push is real, and there's no waves coming in either. So
run past the minions.
That's pretty big. That inhib is going to be wide open.
Yep, open inhib on the top side. So Graves going to draw some pressure back there. Red wins. Red gets 2 kills. But it's like Graves is, threatening dropping this inhib, which is going to help relieve some of this pressure that they're under in the 1v1 again.
Evelynn's going to go down too. Come on, get it. There you go. Woo! That's a huge kill for Graves as this next minion wave comes in. Focus the inhib.
Get you two, Blake.
Just focus the inhib. Don't worry about Loki. There you go. That is a big tide turner as this Elder is up. So that's a big play. Graves getting a kill, not getting baited by the low Lux. Is going to take that inhib. And that fight might be happening in a few minutes for Elder. The flash from Amumu. Oh, and here comes the engage.
Danielle.
Ezreal is going to get out blast coned over. And another bandage toss is going to... Ezreal is just going to keep blinking away. Headed towards...
So good. Cry on him.
Action first is just doing work. Takes out Yasuo, and that's going to open up an Elder take. I don't know if Blue Side's going to be able to make heads or tails of this, but Graves is just split pushing like crazy at the top lane.
I mean,
they're going to have to pull off this.
They have to pull off. Yeah, that pull off because Amumu's at Drake. Amumu has Smite. Red team does not have Smite, so if they can get vision on this, Hypermaru can hop the wall with Q and take it. Mordekaiser's going to try to chase her away.
Yeah, but do they have the damage? I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the Drake. They're going to take this one down, though. They've got enough damage to make it happen. Evelynn's going to come in as well. So Mordekaiser doesn't get the kill, but they do fend off for the Drake. So that's pretty big. But if you look at the red side base, the Winions are coming. The Winions are coming.
Yeah, and so I do want to talk about the Hypermaru's fight there with the Ezreal. She flashed on the Ezreal and held her Q until Ezreal E'd away, did the Arcane Shift, and once he did the Arcane Shift, then she threw her Q out, which is pretty much guaranteed to hit him because he doesn't have any more dashes left. So she kind of flashed on, baited out his E, then when he E'd, she Q'd and was able to chase him down. Just really, really well played, because if she had a Q'd too early, Ezreal just ease away, and then the fight dies. But yeah, really, really well played there. But as you said, that top inhib down, Graves putting in work. Yes, had a really, really tough early game. Like, my God, that's a FF at 15 early game where it feels really, really bad. If you're in solo queue, your team's flaming you. It's just awful. Oh, holy moly! Yeah,
but that Elder buff is coming in huge. Oh, Ezreal ult from very far away. Red team's going to get a nice chunk of kills off of that one. Amumu's the only one left on the map. The Winions are rolling down top lane, but rolling down mid lane is red side. Evelynn is now going to... Amumu's going to try and fend this one off.
She still has Elder, though. It's kind of tough. I mean, it's full send at this point, but yeah, that's kind of tough. But yeah, I mean, the Graves came back, committed to the split push, drew a lot of pressure, bought blue side a lot more time, but that Elder super buff just really, really hurts. It's going to be tough. We could have some respawns here coming in, but it doesn't look like it.
Don't know if it's going to be enough. But I just look at the gold. If League Broadcast is accurate, which I don't think it is, but what's the gold differential going on? Can you see it at this point?
I can see it on my screen.
Yeah,
I can see that it's only a like a 7, a 6, barely 6,000 gold
6,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the end, red side this time around is able to get the dub, but it was hard fought. 45 minutes. Blue side putting in as much as they could to fend that one off, and they had a lot of different opportunities, but it just came down to that Elder really does help close out games.
No doubt about it.
So,
and my post game screen is looking like really bad. I'm trying to pull up advanced details and talk damage and stuff, but it's not loading in. Let me pull up League of Graphs.
We'll see if we get that up as well.
Yeah, because I really want to see some of the damage that was done. Kind of talk about the result there. That was just really a tough match for Blue. Once the Mordekaiser got so far, Mordekaiser did his job. He stayed in the 1v1, knew nobody could 1v1 me. And they tried multiple things, right? They keep the Graves there.
Oh, you there? Justin? Uh-oh.
Graves can't 1v1 the Mordekaiser. Sivir can wave clear into the Mordekaiser, but then you don't know where the Mordekaiser is. So then it feels terrible as a Sivir because you've cleared your wave and you're just sitting on a tower and there's nothing to do. It's like, all right, well, can I take 5 steps away, please? And instead, you got a Mordekaiser hanging out in the brush and just takes you out there. So that feels really, really bad. But they tried a couple different things and ended just up being blue side. The Mordekaiser was just a lot, and then the poke coming through from the Ezreal and the Lux was massive. Lucky B212 did work on the Leona as well, just trying to anytime they funneled into an area, they layer that Leona ultimate on top, let the Ezreal ult, the True Shot Barrage, as well as the Lux ult, fly over. Evelynn assassinating the backline. It was everybody did so much work. And you look at the score line, the bot lane 0-3 and 0-4, but I mean, you could see how much poke damage was coming from the Ezreal. You could see how much CC was coming through on the Leona. And then we saw some really good macro plays from blue side, right? Just awesome macro plays with you have the Graves. Terrible early game, things just did not go his way, and then he's like, you know what? All right, we're just gonna full send and go top lane. I'm a split push. You turn off your team's chat, you mute everybody, and you just go top lane and see what you can get done. And it put in some work. Had some one team fights. Yasuo was huge. Had some really cool plays out of the Amumu onto the Ezreal. Just really, really neat stuff from both teams here. Unfortunately, only one team can win, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and it was, we saw that blue side trying to change things up a little bit. Maybe it's not working now, but maybe it's going to work here. As Mordekaiser actually left top lane to go respond and make something happen in bot lane, and that opened up that Graves couldn't contest with Mordekaiser, but they made the decision to leave the lane. Mordekaiser left. They got those 2 Rift Heralds. Blue side did. They did some serious work, and Graves was trying to make that split push happen, and it almost did. I mean, it got all the way to inhib, but there was just timers and backings weren't in the favor of blue side to contest that Elder. But we did definitely see some cool tactical plays going on, like you talked about with that Amumu versus Ezreal there, as Ezreal's just dashing away, trying so hard, and then Amumu just is still able to engage.
Just crying on him.
Yeah, just crying, just crying.
Slapping him with tears. I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah, good plays all around by everyone. And definitely want to extend a big thanks to everybody who stuck around and watched. As Justin did a great job, and I fumbled through all the technical difficulties that happens when you try to marry 6 systems together. But in the end, super fun and glad to be able to test it and have a very forgiving audience. So big thanks to everyone out in chat. I really do appreciate it. We will do more of these, probably one tomorrow night. Somebody will pick one up, a stream tomorrow, as we've got tier 1 doing a house party. So this was tier 2, so this is all bronze and silvers. And tier 1 is gold plus. The tier 1 league has ranges from gold to master. Will Win is rocking that master. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, should be exciting. Stick around. We've got more of this each week for the next like 12 weeks. So don't go anywhere. You don't even have to go to work because you're all teachers. So we'll see you in a little bit. And Justin, I do want to say thanks for jumping on for tonight to help out. I think we learned a lot.
Man, it was a blast. Yeah, we testing out some new software and things didn't quite go the way we had anticipated. But you call your audible and you go back to OBS, and we got to the league broadcast up there. Chat was bumping.
Oh yeah, thanks,
we had some.
Just the best.
Everybody was there and active. So yeah, just a really really cool time. Got to see some of these tier 2 players show off some stuff going into the season, and yeah, it's going to be a spicy one. I'm looking forward to this season.
Indeed. Thanks everyone. We will see you tomorrow.